She could only hope it wasn't true. Bringing Johnson to justice had become more than a job. It was a mission. Their team leader cleared his throat, the sound reverberating in the silence as the van slowed and turned off its lights. "Intel says our target was seen in the residence, 3 doors down and to your right," he said in a low voice. "We're not sure where the players are positioned, so we're playing hide-and-seek tonight. As always, try to approach the residence without alerting anyone. Our main goal is to find Johnson, but we also need to shut down the beehive, arrest whoever's inside, and confiscate drugs, weapons, and money. Thankfully, the weather is cooperating. There's a good chance our targets are holed up inside. Sergeant Morris will lead the search." He pointed to several officers, including Tally. "You'll go with me through the front door. Stay alert. There are definitely guns inside. We don't want anyone hurt if at all possible." He pointed at Mercy and 2 other deputy marshals. "You set and hold the perimeter. Be on the lookout for runners. Don't let anyone get away." He paused for a moment. "Look, we're all hoping Johnson is here. Yet we have to stick to normal procedure. If we get lucky, I want to make one thing very clear. I want him alive, folks. I mean it. We won't honor Mike by killing this scumbag. We need him to answer for his crimes. We can't allow this bus to get dirty. Got it?" Everyone in the vehicle nodded or grunted their assent. Many times, raids were exciting, adrenaline-charged. But tonight, officers and deputies were quiet. They all wanted Darius Johnson off the streets. There was absolute silence in the van as they waited for the order to start the operation. Mercy clasped her AR-15 rifle against her vest. All Leos had on their tactical gear. Underneath it, most of the cops wore uniforms. The marshals and the police detectives were dressed in plainclothes, with their coats zipped up against the cold. The only way to tell the difference between the various law enforcement agencies represented were the words stamped on the back of their jackets. But tonight, departments, even rank, didn't matter. They were one unit with one goal. Mercy's grip tightened on her rifle as the sound of the rain intensified. It was as if it were directly connected to the increased concentration surging through all the members of the unit. Seconds later, the commander yelled, "Go, go, go!" The doors of the van burst open and everyone jumped out, intent on taking their assigned position. Mercy ran around to the back of the house, keeping as low to the ground as possible, thankful for the dark and the heavy showers. They were shields of protection until the residence was breached. She crouched down near the back door. Seeing another deputy take his place at the back of the yard, she signaled him with a wave of her hand to let him know she was in place. He signaled back. They were set. They both had to be ready to move quickly. If they had the right house, there would be runners. There were always runners. Seconds later, she heard a shout, "Police! We have a warrant!" Several other voices echoed the same warning. Then came a loud bang, making it clear the front door had been broken down. Everyone inside the house was now aware of the raid. Mercy pulled the flashlight from her belt and trained it on the back door, her rifle held firmly with her other hand. "Over there!" Mercy swung her flashlight toward a lone figure running away from the house. He must have exited through a basement window. "Watch the door!" she shouted to the other deputy. She sprinted after the runner, identifying herself as a police officer and commanding him to stop. Even though she was actually with the marshal's office, calling herself a cop made it simpler for everyone to understand, especially the perps. It was obvious this guy wasn't going to make it easy for either one of them. As she raced through an adjoining yard, a woman came out onto her back porch and began screaming obscenities at Mercy, ordering her to get off her property. Mercy swung her flashlight toward the woman and instructed her to get inside the house. But this seemed to incense her even more. Mercy had no choice but to ignore the irate resident and stay focused on the fleeing suspect.